Welcome to interviewbuddies.com. In today's session, we are going to learn a little bit about Avro. What is Avro? How to use Avro in your program? How to generate Avro schema? How to read that Avro data in your PostgreSQL? So so yeah, let's get started. So a little bit about Avro is what is Avro exactly? So Avro is a data serialization system which is used to exchange data between applications. It's a schema based approach. It has its own it has its binary encoding. It has very rich data types. It provides an schema, and you can use the schema to verify the data binding and things like that. So it's pretty common. It's widely used. So let's see how it works and how you can play around with it, and how you can possibly load that Avro data in your database. So in my screen, I have this workbook open, where in the first cell I'm installing the fast Avro. It's a Python library um, which is used to read and write Avro. And let's run the cell by cell. So I'm importing fast Avro here and importing JSON. In the third cell, I'm defining a schema. So what I'm trying to say here, that my data should be in this format. So type is, it's a type of record. The name of the data is like user, which will be your table name. The field, it contains following fields: name. So this is something you have to like, this is very simple schema type, and this is something you have to follow. So name is like, what is the name of the column, and what type it is, like whether it's a string, int, array, or something else, right? So we are saying that we have name. The first type is name. The first column is name. The type is string. Second is age. Type is int. Third is city. Type is string. So these are the three columns, and this is the schema binding. So when we are saying this is the schema binding, it means our data should follow this schema. It cannot have, name is city and type as int. It will throw an error. So that's how Avro works. So, and that's how, like, that's why schema is important. That will, like, to validate what kind of data is coming in against that schema. In the cell 4, we have the data. So we are following name Alice, age 30, and city is New York. So same format as we defined above. We cannot deviate from that because it's like tightly bind in that sense. So let's run this. Nothing is going to happen. So yeah, so when we ran this, it wrote users.avro file to your systems, to the current directory. So let's see what it has. So if you see, I have a lot of files including my other scripts, and one is users.avro. So if I try to read it, it will give you something in the weird format. It's not text, it's not JSON. So it's in the Avro format. So okay, I'm sorry, it's a wrong name. So users.avro. So yeah, you can see it's saying it's following a schema here. Its own schema format. It has some special, or you can say junk characters added to it, and like with the data embedded to it, right? So this is your Avro data file, and it is ready to use. And how you will read it, you cannot read it like that. You need a special program. Either you read it through Java, or you read it through Postgres or other library, right? So here I'm trying to import this data file into my Postgres. So what's the condition of my Postgres database? So I have following tables. I have so many tables here. So one of them is users. So let me truncate that table. So it's truncated, and what's the format? So it's following the same syntax as we defined in the Avro schema. It has name, age, city, of type text, integer, and text. So name is text, age is integer, and city is text, as we defined here in our Avro schema. So it's nothing here right now. And on the left screen, if I run this, this is script, and if what I'm trying to do is I'm inserting the data which is written in my Avro file. So whatever the data is here in the Avro file, it will insert that data in our database. So if I run this, and now if I execute the query, select star from user, it should give me 2 records. So that's how we can read the Avro data type and insert it in the Postgres database, right? So similarly, I have other record as well. Like there are 2 more cells. So this is like one way of doing it. Like one way, like programmatically, you have defined the schema, and you have the data set, and you are writing it in the Postgres. There is another way, that is like using your avro-tools.jar file to generate the Avro data type. So here on my screen, you can see I have a jar file already there in place. I have a employee.json file. So it's a different data type. So let me go through one by one. So what is employee.json contains? So, okay, so it has 2 records, ID, name, department, and salary. Okay. These are the 4 columns in that one. And I have an employee schema already created. So let's see the schema. So cat employee.absc. So yeah, if you're reading or if you're generating Avro data through your command line, you have to follow these syntax. You have to have a JSON file which contains the data. You have a schema file, it's called as avsc, and it reads as Avro schema. So what Avro schema file is, and it contains your schema types basically. So it has a name, it has a type record, and the name of the user, or sorry, name of the record is employee, and it has 4 columns: ID, name, department, and salary, and every column has a type associated with it. So name, type name has a type string, column name has type string, column salary has type integer. Okay, and the data is already here. So let's run it again. So yeah, you can see the salary is in integer format, the ID is in integer format. Okay, so we have these ready. So this is like I manually created it. You can create it manually. So every schema you can create accordingly, and then how you will generate the Avro data out of these schemas. So for that purpose, we will use avro-tools.jar, and so it goes like this: Avro. Okay, so let me see if I remember. Java-jar, avro-tools.jar, and then from JSON. So you are saying that generate Avro data from the JSON file. You are saying schema file. You are providing a schema name here, employee.avsc, and we are providing the data file, which is employee.json. And I already have a Avro type, so I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to employee _1.avro. Okay, so yes, it looks like it created it. It generated a warning, which is fine. But if I see here, I have a newly generated file, employee1.avro. So yeah, it's similar thing as we have seen above. In case of user, it has a schema type associated with your data, and your data is embedded in between, and it's a different format altogether. It's in the Avro format. So yeah, it's the same thing. We have the Avro data type ready for the type employee, and let's read it. Let's insert this data, this particular employee data, in our database. So let's go back to the database and see how many tables. I have a lot of tables. So /d plus employee, and it has 4 columns already created. Like, so this, so just to like clarify, this is not auto generated. This is something I have manually created, and then I have matched the schema of these data types. So it's the same as what I have put in the schema. Okay, so if I query it, it has some data. I'm going to truncate that table. Okay, nothing in there right now. On the left hand side, I'm going to read this employee.1 avro file, which is this one. Okay, and I'm going to insert this data into the database and I'll fetch the record. So let's run this. Let's read the data. So you see the data. Let's match it. So JSON. So it has two records, name, department, and like it contains ID1, ID2, and the corresponding data. So yeah, so that's how we can read the data in our Avro from our Avro files into the Postgres database. Couple of links here how you can download avro-tools.jar. So you can go to Maven, search for Maven, search for Avro Maven in the Google, and you will come up, like it will redirect you to this link, and here you can just download the file as jar, and when you click it, it will automatically download for you. And then there's also the whole documentation behind Apache Avro. You can take a look at it. So that's all, and I will put the links in the description. Thanks a lot, and don't forget to hit subscribe button. Thank you.